Good morning. How are you diddling? Excellent. Me too. Thank you very much for asking. Welcome to another episode of Dazed and Confused. Friday morning, another week done, kind of, just after 11 o'clock. How's your week been? Has it been a good week for you so far? We're not quite at the end there yet, so it is still so far. Has it been a good week, though? Fingers crossed it has. It's not been too chaotic, not too crazy. It's been a chaotic week on my end. Lots of things happening at home and in personal stuff and things like that. Car MOTs and all that kind of exciting thing going on, as well as work as well. So, yeah, it's been an interesting week. But here we are, the end of a week, and we are ready to hit the weekend. We are ready to have some time off, a time to relax, a time to chill, a time to spend some time with family. But is it a time to switch off? We're going to talk about that in just a moment. It is the weekend. Is it a time to completely switch off, or is it a time to actually maybe not do so? We'll talk about that in a moment. And as always, we'll be answering your questions as well. So if you've got any video, social media questions you want asking during this particular live broadcast, get in touch with me now. Drop them into the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. And if I don't have an answer, I'll go and get you it and then come back with it either on email or I can actually talk about it on my next live broadcast on Monday instead. So whatever happens, you are definitely going to get an answer to your question. Okay? Good. Excellent. We do have a few questions that have already come in, so that's cool. We're currently live on Periscope, YouTube, a bunch of Facebook groups as well. Unfortunately, Instagram is still, well, it's not Instagram that's flaky. Vodafone is still flaky in my area, so I need to get that sorted, which means I can't go live on my phone on Instagram because it'll swallow up a bunch of bandwidth if I use my Wi-Fi, and I'm using my Wi-Fi to do this. So, yeah, Instagram just has to go by the wayside for the time being. Not to worry, though. They'll still get content. If you want to watch this live on Instagram at any time, I'm going to put it on IGTV so you can watch it there. Okay, so who am I? I'm Simon Scholes. I'm the founder and creative director of Perception Studios. We're an award-winning visual marketing agency. We're based in the UK, but we help brands and businesses globally create social media content that helps them stand out on their channels of choice. And that could be video, it could be animation, aerial work, photography, graphical, all sorts of different types of stuff that will really help you stand out from the rest of the competition. However, a few years ago, it became very obvious to me that not every brand, not every business was in a position to spend money on a regular basis having content created consistently for social media. The only downside being is this is where the attention is. So if you're not on here and pretty much all the time, then you're not talking to a potential audience. And I don't mean you need to have this in your hand all the time, actually using it, but actually having content going out on a regular basis. So I came up with a process. I sat down and I decided, what do people need to be doing? What will help remove friction? I called it How to 9 Times Your Social Media. I turned it into a former #1 book, which is still available now on Amazon below. It's only 99p as well. So go and grab yourself a copy while you can. And basically it takes you through the whole process, which starts with planning your content and ends with podcasting and everything else that goes in between as well. So if you've not got a copy of the book yet, go and download your copy now, get yourself a copy, and we'll take you through that whole process. But that's what these live videos are all about as well. It's just try and help you get on that content creation journey. Start talking to your audience. Start putting your brand out there, building your brand online as well, so that people know who you are, what it is that you do, and the value that you've got to give. And let's face it, we live in some pretty strange times at the moment. It's a very odd situation at the moment where nobody really knows what's going on. There's still COVID is like worldwide, globally, as a pandemic. And yeah, we don't know whether there's going to be a second spike, whether that's going to affect businesses. We've just dropped into a recession in the UK. It's probably going to be a global recession, let's be honest. And so, yeah, it's a strange time. So actually using online to build your brand is a really powerful thing to do. And there are so many people who will completely go against the grain and say, no, online's a load of rubbish. Let me give you an example. The other day, if you've never heard of them, Gymshark, the brand, were valued at £1 billion. They are a brand who have done nothing in shops. They've had 1 or 2 little pop-up shops in like Box Park and places like that, but they have never, ever had a shop. They don't generally do print advertising, or they never used to when they first started. The guy who started it understood exactly what he was doing. It was an online market. He knew he needed to get people looking good in his product, and that's exactly what he did. He got good-looking people into his products. He put them out on social media, and people just went, wow, I want to look like that in that product. He knew who he was talking to. He knew his actual avatar. He knew he was aiming at younger people. And so he was absolutely laughing. He was creating content for those people. So anybody out there who says you cannot make a brand purely through online content and online work are talking a load of crap. It's £1 billion business, Gymshark. If you've never heard of it, what planet have you been on? But if you've never heard of it, go and check it out. An absolute unbelievable rags to riches story, effectively, but proof of how a brand can build to be creating some serious money just by using online in the right way and doing the right things with it. So that's what I want to talk to you about today. It's just trying to help you get into that brand idea, start creating content, and most importantly, the fact that it is the weekend. First things first, though, a bit of housekeeping. Good morning to Ed. Thank you very much for joining us, and Miles as well, who's joined us. If you are online at the moment and you're watching whatever platform you're on, you can ask questions. Just stick them into the comments on whatever platform you're watching on, and they'll pop up on my screen, and we can go through those today. Anyway, so it is the weekend, and this is something I talk about every single week. So I'm not going to be changing my story again. It's basically the weekend. Social media does not work a 5-day week. And if anybody out there believes that it does, you are wrong. Social media does not switch off. Less people are not on a weekend. More people are using social media on a weekend than during the week. And the reason for that is not everybody is allowed to have access to this while they're at work during the week. And then they get home on an evening and they maybe pop on in an evening and stuff like that, maybe for half an hour, but they're not doing consuming a huge amount of content. The weekend arrives, they lay in bed, they have a coffee, they put this in their hand and they go through news stories and different articles and search through Twitter and Instagram and like posts and all that kind of stuff. But if you're not posting on a weekend, there is absolutely no chance of them stumbling across your content. And even more so, there's no chance of the audience you've already built, the audience who care about you and who give a damn about what you've got to say, there's no chance of them sharing your content either. So there's no chance of their audience seeing it. Those people who might only potentially consume content on a weekend actually seeing that content. So I want you to come out the other side of this broadcast with the mindset of, look, social media, it doesn't work a 5-day week. And I am not suggesting that everybody needs to come out of this with a mindset of, I need to be working 7 days a week. But you do need to be putting something out on social media on a weekend. There is that whole new audience that you could be talking to, but also your current audience, you want them to know that you care, that you know that you're thinking of them. Even if it's just a simple, how's your weekend going? What's happening in your neck of the woods? Anything like that, just to maybe create a level of conversation. Turn on notifications on all your social media platforms. So if anybody is conversing with you, you can go back to them. If they're retweeting you, you can say thank you. If they're sharing your content, say thank you. If they're giving a positive review, you can respond and say thank you. If they're giving a negative review, you can get in there and make sure that you're dealing with the issue straight away rather than leaving them to dwell on it for 48 hours. Weekends are a really important time to be using social media because the mindset of so many people is, I work 5 days a week. I don't work 7 days a week. Well, if you're running your own business, you are working 7 days a week, especially if you're doing everything yourself. If you're working in social media, full stop, you need to be working 7 days a week. Like I say, I'm not suggesting you need to be on it all the time, but you do need to be posting something to make sure your audience know that you're out there, and you need to be responding to comments and negative reviews and all that kind of stuff as quickly as humanly possible. You'd answer them quickly if it was Monday to Friday, so why would you not do the same on a weekend? So just switch notifications on your phone. It's super simple. You just go into the settings and you just go, right, okay, Facebook, turn it on. Twitter, turn them on. Instagram, turn them on. And then when you get a notification through, you make sure you go back to it. It's that simple. And then you can turn them off again on Monday because you're going to be working on it. But you just don't want to be in a situation where you're leaving people dwelling on stuff or anything like that. Ed is asking the question, which kind of works alongside this. Any tips for making sure posts are still going out while on holiday? So Yes and no. So I'm kind of against scheduling stuff, as you may well know if you've watched my content on a regular basis. However, Hootsuite, Later, Tailwind, Buffer, they are all really great tools for putting out messages that I schedule to go out. What I would recommend is using those platforms for the generic content. So, for example, if you're putting out any hints and tips or like specific like value-based pieces, there's even apps out there that will help you with your website actually tweet out old blogs and maybe even change the title of the blog so more people might recognize it as a different piece of content and come and have a read. So you could use those kind of tools to help you out. If you're wanting to make specific content and you want it to be posted and people get responses and all that kind of stuff and like maybe enter into the debate yourself, if you're going on holiday, that's where a community manager comes in. You can create the content, they will help you post it to the schedule that you would normally stick to, and then the community manager will also dive in and respond to people's questions or debates and all that kind of stuff and keep your channel ticking along in the mindset that actually it's not a community manager, it could well be you responding to those tweets and those kind of things. So you need to sit down with somebody and hopefully they can get a good insight into your mindset and how you would respond to stuff. But a community manager should be able to do that. But yeah, if you're going for like generic giving value posts, look at like actually scheduling them in. Like I say, I'm not a huge fan of it. And if you can do it organic, like properly yourself, brilliant. But if you can't, if you are going on holiday and you don't want to pay for somebody, use those tools to actually schedule content out. But if you do have a bit of budget, maybe schedule those yourself and then have some other content that an actual community manager could help you put out and actually respond to as well. And I don't mean a VA. VAs are great, do not get me wrong, virtual assistants, they're brilliant at what they do, but they are not social media experts. If they were a social media expert, that's what they would be doing. They're not social media experts. Please let me get that straight. But they can help you with posting content and stuff like that. But if you want somebody to respond to stuff and actually do this right, get a community manager, somebody who knows what it is you're talking about and how to respond to people, rather than just somebody who is brilliant at what they do, but this is not their area of expertise. Okay, hopefully that helps, Ed, a little bit. Fingers crossed it does. And yeah, so holidays and weekends are all exactly the same kind of thing. Just make sure you're still putting content out. Don't go dead for 2 days or 2 weeks. Just don't stop posting completely. But you need to find a way that works for you budget-wise and stuff that means you can actually still have content going out. Even if it is generic content, even if it's just reposting of old stuff, it's still content going out, making sure people remember that you actually exist. And it's the same on YouTube. I've worked with YouTubers in the past who've stopped creating content, seeing their views absolutely plummet through to the ground, and then it takes a long time to recover from that because you've not created content, so that audience have gone somewhere else where they can get what you've got to offer. So just keep offering it, even if it's just a little bit of a dribble of content, so that you don't lose the audience that you've got. They still remember that you exist. Okay, it's the weekend. We are going to go into some questions, and then I'm going to shoot off and crack into some work and yeah, get some stuff done. So if you've got any questions at all about social media, about video, just like Ed just asked, then drop them into the comments right now. Whatever platform you're on, we'll do our best to answer them, or I'll do my best to answer them for you before I disappear. Okay, first question. And that came through today. Let's go here and like that so you can see it. Saskia asks, I love investing, happiness and motivation. I've started a podcast, a YouTube, an Instagram on these. How can I build my brand with this? It sounds like you're doing the right stuff, Saskia. I would probably, in the current climate, err away from happiness and motivation. Those can kind of come in to the content. I wouldn't say those are the things that I concentrate on. I would concentrate on investing, and that's a really interesting subject matter for a lot of people at the moment. There's a lot of fakes out there who think they know investing. So I'm assuming right now, and I know that makes an ass out of you and me, but I am assuming right now you are an expert and you know what you're talking about and you've made money from investing. So if you have done, then that's what I would concentrate on. I would put my efforts into creating content about investment that could, and then talk about happiness and motivation in separate content, but in a context of I want to motivate you to do some investing because this is what could happen. Look at what happened with this particular one that I was looking at. But teach people investing as well. What do the graphs mean? What does it mean when it's still like in a downward trend, but there's a potential of it going back up? What's Bitcoin all about? All the ethereal, all those kind of things that are connected to investment that the other people out there who are like Forex experts and trading experts, but they're really not. So what I would recommend is that if you are a true expert and you are truly understanding investment, then I would go out there and start teaching people how they can make money from just a small investment. Because when people hear the word investment, they mindset kicks in and they start going, oh, right, okay, well, that's going to be like hundreds, thousands, tens of thousands of pounds and dollars and stuff. And actually, they could still be making money, even though it's smaller amounts, by just investing 18 quid. Or £15 or £25, whatever they can afford. So they could still be making money by investing a lot smaller amount of money. And so that's kind of the market I would aim at, is those people who have pocket money and they don't want to go spending it on stuff like new trainers or sweets or what have you, but they want to invest it so they can kind of double their money and then do that again with that money and then that again with that money and so on and so forth. So I would look at the smaller money investments and teach people how to do that. That's what I would do personally, and then tie in the happiness and the motivation stuff around some of the other content that I'm putting out, maybe on Instagram and on Facebook, but try and tie everything back into the investment side of things. That's my point of view. You can take it or leave it, but that's what I would do if I were you, Saskia. Okay, let's have a look at this one. Paul is asking, is there a way to get quick results on social media without spending cash? Okay, Paul, I'm going to let you in on a little secret here. Come a bit closer. Just come here. Okay. There's a magic hashtag. Nobody knows about this, okay? So it's just between you and me. The magic hashtag you should be using on all your content is hashtag hard fucking work, because there is no magic pill to making your content reach a bigger audience. And the sooner you realize that, the better. And this might sound harsh, this might sound horrible, but if you think you are going to get one tweet going out and getting a £5 million deal, or put one piece of content out on YouTube and you're going to be the next biggest influencer, you have got another thing coming. Social media doesn't work like that anymore. It very rarely did back in the day, but now, absolutely not. You have to put the effort in. It is hard work. Nobody said building a brand, running a business was going to be easy. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it because everybody's got a good idea and they want to make money from it. But it's not. It's not easy. There's no magic pill. There's no silver bullet. There's no hashtag you can use on Instagram which will suddenly get you tens of thousands of people seeing your content. It doesn't exist. You have to put the hard work in. You have to sit there and put content out 3 times a day on Instagram. You have to be out there on Twitter and responding to comments and searching people out who need your help. You need to be putting content out regularly on YouTube and filming yourself and putting content out. You need to have content going out on TikTok and Snapchat and LinkedIn and all these other great places. You need a podcast. You need a blog. It's got to be done. It is hugely daunting and there's a lot of work of it, but if you are willing to put the work in over a longer period of time than 5 minutes, then you will see the results. But you've got to put the effort in. And I'm frustrated because this question is just the same one you hear over and over again from so many people. The times you will see people start a channel on YouTube, they'll make 5 videos and then they give up because they're not an influencer yet and they're not making thousands of pounds. When I first started on YouTube, a viral video was considered viral if it hit 200 views or more within 24 hours. At that point, and only at that point, would YouTube then give you the opportunity to monetize your video. They got greedy and they gave everybody monetization, and it screwed entire system. Everybody thought we were going to be the next big influencer, and what happened was everybody started Google AdWords accounts because that's how you got your money, and so they'd start doing that and they were getting 50 or 60p over 6 months, And so they gave up. But it created this mindset of a lot of people going, I'm going to be the next influencer. I'm going to be the next influencer. I'm going to be the next influencer. Rather than actually people creating content that they love creating, that they've got a passion about. I'm not against people starting a YouTube channel, but what I'm against is people starting a YouTube channel just because they think they're going to make a load of money behind it. It doesn't work that way. And it doesn't work that way on any social media platform. So please get into the mindset of this is going to be hard work. It's going to take me a long time. But you know what? I'm going to enjoy the process. I'm going to enjoy the journey. And it's going to be fun because I'm making content I give a shit about rather than every other trending piece of content. If you've got a passion about little ring lights, then make content about ring lights. Do it. If that's your passion, so be it. Don't make content just to try and appeal to the masses. Make content because you care about it. Right. Okay. Moving on, Paul. Hopefully you've got my message there. I don't think I could have been much plainer. Okay. Last question I've got coming in today. If you've got any questions right now, burning away in your head, stick them into the comments. We'll go through them before I finish. Jamie is asking, so many great creators recommend really expensive kit. I've seen this so many times. Peter McKinnon and other people like that. They are fantastic producers, fantastic creators. But then when they say, all right, yeah, you want to try this light out. It's an amazing light. It's an overhead light. It's an LED light. And you think, that looks good. And yeah, I really wanted to give that. And then it's $1,500. Really? For a light? That's insane. So Jamie is asking, I've got about $80 to spend on a ring light. Can you suggest one for me? I can. As it happens, I have one here. Let me just turn it down so I'm not blinding you. This is the ring light I use. Unfortunately, I don't have the space to put it in front of me, but it should generally be kind of there, lighting me. But I can't because it would just fall over if I put it there right now. So I put it down here and I bounce it off the walls and try and use a bit of reflection light to light me a little bit better because obviously I've got the window behind me. And that's the ring light I use. And you can click on the link down below. And there's a few different lights down there. I've got a softbox kit I use now and again. That's the ring light I use. There's a smaller ring light that you can get hold of. You could even buy something like that, like a proper little mobile phone one if you're just looking to do selfie kind of stuff. But that's only useful if you're doing videos like at arm's length. Anything further than that, and it's absolutely rubbish. So don't touch it with a barge pole. But just, yeah, have a look down below, see what lights I recommend. But yeah, I think that ring light, I think it was about £80. So it's about the same price you're looking at. It doesn't come with a tripod, but yeah, hopefully that would help you out a little bit. It's a good ring light. It's a nice, strong, powerful one, and would hopefully give you exactly what you need. And I hope that helps, Jamie. And there's not a lot else I can say, really, other than, yes, I completely agree with you. There's so many great creators, but the kit they recommend is just not necessarily affordable to people like you and I or the general public. It's more professional kit, which is great, and it's lovely to see. And I have some professional kit in my actual production house, but for me personally, at home, I don't have the space for all that kind of stuff, or the will to spend 1,500 quid on an overhead LED light, which I don't need really, other than for doing these broadcasts. Be a bit of an overkill, I think. Anyway. Hopefully that's helped you, Jamie, and hopefully that's answered everybody's questions. Ed's and Sarah, and who else did we have? Saskia, sorry, and Paul and Jamie. I've answered your questions. If you've got any questions right now and they're burning away at you, whether you're watching on the live or listening to the podcast or watching the replay, you can, if you want, go down into the description box below, drop me an email. My email address is down there. Click on that, send me an email. We can have a chat that way instead, or I can take your question and I can answer it on the next live video, which will be Monday at 11 o'clock. But until then, thank you so much, as always, for watching these live broadcasts. Even when people are just flitting in and out and getting bits and pieces, it's great that you guys actually still tune into these, even though we're like into week 22, 23, whatever it is of doing it. Thank you so much. And if you are enjoying it and you're not actually yet subscribed, how about you hit the subscribe button? Make sure that you are subscribed so you don't miss out on any of my content in the future. Hit that notification button as well if you're on YouTube and places like that. And why not as well, while you're at it, just move your thumb or your mouse ever so slightly to one side and hit share. Share this content content with your audience. If you think anybody you know might be a business or trying to build a brand or wants to be an influencer and they're creating content, share this content with them. They should hopefully get some value from it. They'll hopefully understand the hard work and things like that need to go into stuff. And fingers crossed, they can get value from it and they can share it with their audience and so on and so forth. And we can just keep building the community and getting more and more help and more questions coming in that we can answer and help more and more people. Because that's what it's all about. It's just trying to get help out to those people who want to use social media, but just aren't really too sure about it. Want to use video, but maybe a little bit freaked out about using video and really not sure exactly what they should be doing with it once they've got it. Okay, until Monday, have a great weekend. I'm not sure what the weather's going to be doing. It's blowing a gale at the moment here, but stay safe. We're still in those strange times. Have a good weekend, and I will catch you on Monday at 11 o'clock. See you then.